Hello YouTube, this is Largo64. I've just been tagged. There haven't been a tag going around for a while, but this one is called Death and Dying Tag. I was tagged by Renegade 4DO, whose own video on this is very interesting. You should check it out. There are 13 questions. I'm just going to dive right into it. And number one is, do you want a celebration of life or a funeral? For myself, it's really not going to matter. I'm going to be gone, but I would hope that my friends and family would get together and have a really big bash, a party, a celebration of my life. I don't know that I would celebrate it that much. Having arrived where I am after all these years, but I hope my family and friends will find some things to celebrate. Number two, whom are you most worried about leaving when you die? Well, I'm not really worried about that at all, because at my age there really isn't anyone who depends on me. I won't be leaving anyone in the lurch. I'm not married, so there's no person in my life who would be absolutely bereft if I should depart suddenly. So I'm not going to worry about that. Number three, which famous person would you like to have speak at your funeral? Well, as I said, I don't really want to have a funeral, but if my relatives decided they wanted one for me instead of a party, that's up to them. If they could get somebody like, does it have to be somebody living? I mean, I'm not going to worry about it one way or the other. I'd like to have somebody like Sam Harris say that that he has seen all of Largo64's videos and really admires them. Boy, that'd be great if I could get something like that. That's really silly. Let's see. After you die, for what would you most like to be remembered? I think I would like to be remembered for my sense of humor. I really do think I have one. I wish I could say that there are some great accomplishments that people could point to. I've played a little music, I've done a little singing, I've done a little acting, done some artwork. Really haven't left a great body of any kind of work behind to point to, so I really don't know. 5. What one thing would you like to have buried or cremated with you? Actually, I can't think of a single thing that is important enough to want to keep with me when I'm gone. In fact, if I had anything that had any real value, I would certainly want to give it to someone else. Let it be enjoyed by another person. Number 6, is there anything in your house that you do not want people to find after you're dead? The only thing that comes immediately to mind is my computer, because I may have forgotten to erase something. But and we won't even go into what that could be. Let's see. What do you think people will say about you at your funeral that might not quite be true? Well, I've had people tell me that they thought I was wise. Actually, most of that comes in comment sections on my videos from very young people who just don't know any better. The people who know me, people tend to gloss over faults and magnify good things about a dead person, so I suppose a lot will be said at my funeral that isn't quite true. If you could choose your last words, what would they be? For crying out loud, can a guy just go to sleep? If you have a tombstone, what epitaph would you like on it? Oh, these are maybe a question mark. I can't imagine what people would say or would want to write on my tombstone. One tombstone that I know of, though, that I thought was really funny, I'll just share this with you. The guy was a hypochondriac, and on his tombstone it was written, "I told you I was sick." Something funny like that would be good. Number 10, would you prefer to be missed or remembered fondly? Well, I would hope that people would remember me fondly, that they would be glad to have known me, because that encompasses a much wider spectrum than just the family of the people who would really miss me. I assume they would miss me anyway. Number 11, would you prefer dying suddenly, thus shocking your friends and family, or suffering a slow, painful death over several months so you could say goodbye, settle differences, and get your affairs in order? Well, it's purely selfish on my part, but I hope to go quickly. I think the people that are most important in my life know that I love them. In fact, my siblings, I rarely end a telephone conversation without saying, "I love you." And they don't either, because we know that, especially at this time of life, you may not get another chance. So it's a good idea to let people know how you feel while you're here, instead of waiting until the last minute, because you don't know how long that last minute's going to be. You don't know what could happen. I could be walking along and have a safe fall on my head. That'd be ideal for me. I would just be gone quickly, and that's the way I want to go. I'd like to die in my sleep, but if not, I'd like to die really quickly. Not a lot of suffering. I'm not good with suffering, not at all. And with that in mind, number 12 is, pick one way you would not want to die. I certainly would not want to die in a fire. That burning to death seems to me about as horrible a conclusion of life as you could imagine, as I could imagine. And finally, if you could come back from the dead, would you help, haunt, or hinder? Well, if I could come back, I'd probably hope to be able to help, but I can think of people that I might want to haunt, and anybody who's trying to hurt a loved one of mine, I would want to hinder. So all three. And that's really that. I'm going to close this right here, and I'm going to add another clip at the end with my own tags, because I haven't decided yet whom to tag. Thanks to Tom for tagging me. This has been kind of interesting and fun. Okay, I've figured out who I'd like to tag, at least a few people. There's a lot of people whose ideas on this I wouldn't mind hearing, but I've got 7 here. I know traditionally these are tagging 5 people. I'm going to tag 7 because some people really don't like to do these tag videos, and I'd like to get at least some response. I'll put their names in the description box, which is now down here, along with the questions. The first one would be David Randall Curtis. Then Todd Allen Gates. Then Theremin Trees. Then Cal Solar UK. Elena 43. Theoretical Bullshit. And Prof MTH. I would really like to see the responses of all of those people, but I'll be happy with whatever I can get. Thanks everybody for watching.